All right, Shalom Israel. First and foremost, as always, I would like to give all praises, honor, glory, respect, and blessings to Yahweh, Ba'ashem, Yahweh Shai, Ba'ashem, Rachaha, Quadash. Salutations to the Lord's elect on the four corners of the earth, pushing his truth and sincerity while patiently waiting for Yahweh Shai's return. And double honors to our apostles and elders of Great Millstone, which have taught us everything we know through the spirit and power of Yahweh, Ba'ashem, Yahweh Shai. And welcome to another series of quick and edifying responses. I'm going to be responding to a statement made by the beloved brother in this video. So without further ado, let's get right into it.
Refuse not him that speak. The Heavenly Father gonna shake the heavens and the earth, and it's literal. So when Yahweh shall return that humongous ship, it's gonna cover everything, man. But you gonna feel His presence. Yep.
That's right. And according to um various prophets, such as Esdras and Yahweh Shai. Okay, let's see. According to various prophets such as Esdras, John the Revelator, and there's other prophets. Okay, Yahweh Shai is coming back in what the world calls a UFO. Okay, and in the matter of fact, because what the brother is saying is on point. Okay, Esdras, when he saw the Messiah's return, okay, he said that the Messiah's spaceship was so huge that he couldn't see the beginning or the end of it. Okay, think of it this way. When Yahushua returns, right? Because we're all used to looking up at a sky, whether there's clouds up there, stars, or even a sun, right? But when Yahushua returns, you're not going to be able to see the sun or the moon. You're not going to be able to see the clouds, the actual clouds in the sky. Okay? And no matter which way you look, well, when looking up, the only thing you're going to see is Yahweh's chariot. Okay? So just real quick, because the scriptures say prove all things, right? So let's go to Revelation real quick. Revelation chapter 1, verse 7. Okay, now before I read verse 7, let's read verse 1. The revelation of Yahushua HaMashiach. Now the word revelation literally means to reveal. So this is Revelation right here is going into the revealing of Yahushua, what he looks like according to Revelation 1 verse 13 all the way down to 15, and how he's going to return. So let's focus on how he's going to return. Revelation chapter 1 verse 7. Behold, he cometh with clouds. Okay, now it says he cometh with clouds, right? So if we do this, okay, let's go to the book of Psalms, chapter 104, verse 3. Okay, and I'll start at 2. Who covers thyself with light as with a garment, who stretcheth out the heavens as a curtain, who layeth the beams of his chamber in the waters, who maketh the clouds his chariot, who walketh upon the wind. Now, if we go to this word clouds, right? Because in Revelation 1 verse 7, it said what? The Messiah is coming, he's going to come with clouds. So let's go into who maketh the clouds his chariot. Let's go to this word chariot. And we see the word rakawab. Rakawab. Okay, that's rakawab. Rakawab. And then we see chariot, right? But then if we scroll down here, right, what do we see? A vehicle. So the so-called UFOs, and we say so-called UFOs because according to the Bible, they're not UFOs. They are the chariots of Israel. So the so-called UFOs are the vehicles in which the angels travel in. And when Yahushua comes back, his vehicle is going to be so enormous that you're not going to be able to see the beginning or the end of it. So Revelation 1 verse 7, behold, he cometh with clouds. With what? So-called UFOs, who maketh the clouds his chariot, and every eye shall see him. Okay? And they also which pierced him, and all kindreds of the earth shall wail because of him. Even so, Aman, right? And people think that when Yahushua returns, it's going to be joy in the world. Everybody's going to come together. It's going to be all love and dandy, and yeah, and the Messiah is going to be passing out flowers and candy and handing out hugs. Nah, man. You think Yahushua is going to hug a faggot? Hell nah. Okay, okay, yeah, I'll tell you what Yahushua is gonna do. He gonna zap that motherfucker to powder, okay? So people's gonna be in terror when Yahushua returns, because a lot of people on this planet still thinks that that little green man from Mars, or bald headed, alien Grays, big stomach, naked, big buggy eyes, big head, are riding in them UFOs. No, the Bible tells you that the angels of the Lord travel in those UFOs, and they look like so-called black men. So now if we come over here to the book of Second Esdras, chapter 13, verse 1, and it came to pass after 7 days, I dreamed a dream by night. Okay, so this is a vision that Esdras saw in his dream. You got that? Let's go to the next verse. Okay. And Salakia, man. Satan at work here. Okay. Okay. And lo, there arose a wind from the sea that it moved all the waves thereof. So Yahushua is like the brother said, right? The brother said that everybody's going to feel Yahushua's presence. So Yahushua's presence is going to be so great that the waves are literally going to be moved at his presence. Okay? So, hey, so talk about a powerful presence. And I beheld, and lo, that man is the Messiah. He cometh with clouds, wax strong with the thousands of heaven. Okay? And thousand is just completion. Yahushua is coming back with the innumerable amount of angels. And according to Daniel chapter 12, verse 1, Michael is going to be accompanying Yahushua, and he's going to have angels with him, so-called UFOs. And when he turned his countenance to look, all things trembled that were seen under him. You see that? So, hey, Yahushua's presence is going to be so great that the air is even going to be vibrating. The air, the ground, people is going to be in terror, okay? And whensoever the voice went out of his mouth, all they burned that heard his voice. How did they burn from hearing his voice? Shooting laser beams out of his chariot, okay? So Yahushua is going to be shooting laser beams out of his chariot. Like as the earth filleth, like as when the earth filleth, when it filleth the fire. Verse 5. And after this I beheld, and lo, there was gathered together a multitude of men out of number from the four winds of heaven to subdue the man that came out of the sea. Right. They're going to attempt to fight against Yahushua. Okay. But I beheld, and lo, he had graved himself a great mountain and flew up upon it. So Yahushua's chariot is going to be so enormous, it's literally going to look like a moving mountain. Okay? But I would have seen the region or place whereout the hill was graven, and I could not. So there you go. Okay? He couldn't. And after this I beheld, and lo, all they which were gathered together to subdue him were sore afraid, and yet durst fight. So they're going to try to fight against the second coming of who the world calls Jesus, whose true name in the which can only be uttered in the Paleo Hebrew, which is Yahawashai. And as he saw the violence of the multitude, this is the army, the military of the other nations that came, he neither lifted up his hand, nor held sword, nor any instrument of war. But only I saw that he sent out of his mouth is talking about out of his chariot, out of his so-called UFO, as it had been a blast of fire, and out of his lips a flaming breath, and out of his tongue he cast out sparks and tempests. That's Yahawashai. Okay? And they were all mixed together, the blast of fire, the flaming breath, like you ever seen like them big ass explosions from Dragon Ball Z? Yeah. that should give you a good idea of what Yahawashai is coming with. And that not even that is a good description to describe this type of explosion that's gonna be caused from Yahawashai's blast of fire from out of his chariot. and the great tempest, and fell with violence upon the multitude which were prepared to fight, and burned them up everyone, so that upon a sudden of an innumerable multitude nothing was to be perceived but only dust and smell of smoke. When I saw this, I was afraid. Okay, okay. Who shouldn't be beating the powder at his presence, like it tells you in Second Esdras the 16th chapter. With that, I'm gonna say shalom. It's on to the next one.